here's something that's come up here in the last week that I've read about. I'll get your take on it, and that's the Buffalo County, Wisconsin situation, which I find very interesting, a little puzzling. But for those of you who don't know, Buffalo County has a CDAC, which is a Citizens Deer Advisory Council. So Wisconsin went out and said, county by county, let's get the people involved in making recommendations on how we should, what the bag limits are. The CDAC in Buffalo County, Wisconsin, so Boone and Crockett lists Buffalo County as the number one buck-producing county in the country. They want to go antlerless only this year, does only, because the deer population is too high. So they think if they just take out does, leave the bucks alone, that they'll help mitigate that. And I'll give you my opinion on it first, is that I think it's unfair to do that this soon. To me, it seems like you could do it. Let's say we're going to do this in 2020 and give the guides and the outfitters and the hotels and the local commerce in Buffalo County at least a year, 18 months to prep, to say, okay, we know this is coming.
Yeah, there's so many periphery kind of businesses and individuals affected, but not just the hunters and the guys who want to take a wall hanger there.
Nick, you familiar with the situation? I mean, you want to weigh in on that at all, or what do you think?
So something that big, we're certainly going to be aware of. It was actually the main feature point in our newsletter that went out yesterday. And we also based our survey question around it for the week. And so, yeah, you guys hit the nail on the head. It's not as simple as, okay, from a management perspective, we need to take a lot more deer off the landscape, so we're just going to shut down buck season, basically.
Right.
But I think what they got was the true desired result, and I think the desired result was to get people's attention. The committees, they don't actually get to set the policy; they make the recommendation. And so, therefore, when you make let's just say, I don't want to, outlandish is the wrong term, but let's just a vote that is sort of eye-catching and is going to make a lot of noise. You can do that with the cover of knowing that it's likely that's never going to get implemented. But you can get the attention of people by saying, listen, we have too many deer in this county, and it's great that this is the number one Boone and Crockett county in the country and known by anybody that likes to pursue older deer. Everybody knows about Buffalo County, Wisconsin. But they do have an issue with too many deer. So to your point, I think that if this were truly to be implemented, that you do have to give people notice, because so you've got outfitters that have already got hunts booked. You've got people who lease land up there, maybe multi-year leases, where part of their deal when they signed that wasn't that they might not get to hunt a buck one year. So you have those types of things. But and then you got youth who are coming up that are going to be new hunters that would really surely like to fill a buck tag, I would think. And then there's the whole other part of it is you can't say that we have too many deer on the landscape and then protect the whole sex of them for a season, because now all of those bucks that were going to be taken off the landscape, which tend to be big eaters, by the way,
right?
They're still going to be out there. So I think what they really wanted to do is to get people's attention. Now, all of that being said, I think one of the big discussion points here is that when people go to Buffalo County, Wisconsin to hunt, and it is a huge destination from non-residents, they're going there to shoot a buck. And what's happening is they're outfitters, people that leaseholders and so on, they're not taking enough does off the property. So let's have a realistic conversation about how do we get more does off the property. Maybe it's an extended winter season. Maybe it's an earlier opportunity that's focused on youth and seniors. Maybe it's just saying, like, you can take as many antlerless tags as you want and fill those suckers so that we can thin things down. So right. I'm hopeful that that's where the conversation ends up leading to.
Yeah, the thing that stood out to me first was, okay, well, so you're going to protect half, which is probably not quite half, and then nobody's going to come to Wisconsin for the most part to deer hunt this year. So yeah, and my heart went out to guys who probably had this hunt. They probably saved up for 3 or 4 years. They took vacation time in advance at work, so they're planning on it. And then, yeah, it just seemed to me to be unfair. And